So the way I think about communication is distill it down almost like a brand, distill it down to a very simple construct that you say over and over and over again. And so that it means the same thing to somebody in Kentucky as it does in Kenya, if in a global operation. And that is very, very difficult. I'll give you a specific example. At Avaya, we were a very, very troubled company. Just everything, a lot of things broken. My first all hands, which was on day 3, my message was prepare to win. I didn't know the strategy. I didn't know the situation, but I was trying to convey confidence to an organization that had been losing and struggling for years. And my first message was prepare to win. Over the course of the year, as we began to get our feet underneath us, the message became Avaya is roaring back. Later, the message became Avaya is roaring forward. They're subtle and simple, but you go over and over and over again, you're always coming back to that same theme. The larger the organization, the more important the simplicity and the repetition the communication is. And quite frankly, it has to be authentic. All too often, when you think about this, I see this when I'm, on boards, see this all the time. The CEO and their team, they present a set of metrics one meeting, and the next meeting it's a different set of metrics. I'm like, no. What I want to see is things change, obviously, but you want the core metrics of health of the business, and you want it in an open, honest, direct, and transparent way. Track them. Hopefully, they're going up and to the right the way you'd like them to. And when they're not, you're explaining why. You're not changing the metric, but most people change the metric. That's the idea. It's simple. We're trying to move this battleship this way. And there's all sorts of distractions as to why it's going to move one way or the other. And how do I keep it on track? Last point on that is, in the days in our startups, when you knew every person, hell, you hired every person, communication was easy because it was direct. You could touch them on the shoulder. When you get to Avaya, when I walked through the door of Avaya, we had 10,000 people. We paid salaries in 53 different countries. You're not touching everybody on the shoulder. How do you communicate out to an organization that large that's lost its way, and everybody and their brother's got a different view of what it's going to take to turn the battleship? That's why I think communication simply is so important.
What you just said about, the early days versus a 10,000 person company, would you recommend to a CEO of a 50 person company that they do this? Obviously, it's not the same as at a 10,000, but do you recommend even at that stage that they are doing what you're talking about? Even though they can have the direct relationship, you still believe that this is what you need to do.
I do. It's about a simple message that's authentic, which is about the core task. So if the strategy is go generic, price, delivery, quality, whatever it is, in a particular, your Walmart, it's about price. If it's you're somebody else, it's about quality. Whatever that is, whether it's 5 people or 500 or 5,000 or 50,000, I think the habit as the leader is very early on. Understand who you are. Get the messaging as simple as you can, and rinse and repeat on it. Now the task is harder the bigger it gets, but I think you need that's the muscle memory you want to develop.
I love that.